Scrap exams.
Really?
Yeah. I used to think revising was cheating because I never did any homework, never did any revision.
Podfast is back, 6 minutes, one guest, and no time to waste. Dr. Chris Meah, you founded School of Code, being able to take people from tech novice to tech pro. You shut it down. Why?
Yeah, interesting. Well, I started it because so my background's AI, loved AI, but just couldn't see past the cliff edge of automation that I felt like was going to impact most people's jobs. So School of Code was basically a social obligation from me to try and help people who have felt like we're going to be left behind by technology and jumpstart them ahead into a future-facing career path.
What cliff edge are you referring to?
More than the skills, there's a mindset shift that you need to work in a fast-moving industry like technology, because things aren't static. You don't learn something once and then apply it, which is how we're sort of taught through school and university. You know, get your degree and then do it forever. That doesn't work in pretty much any industry, but especially technology, because it's always changing, it's always adapting, it's always moving. So you need the mindset to be able to thrive in that uncertainty.
Those people who are listening and are wanting to get that mindset shift so that they can best prepare for a world with AI, what's the first step to that?
Interesting. Well, I think there's a shift that most people need to make in terms of learning how to learn. Because when we learn, I went through how many years of education, like 25, 27, I can't even remember how many, but, tons of education. Nobody ever said to me, this is how your brain learns. Never. That is transformational for most people if they just try and tap into, like, how do you actually learn, and try and lean into that. Because that's going to be more important, because the skills are going to come and go in terms of their value. The skills themselves are important for a time, but what's more important is the ability to adapt quickly. And you embrace that uncertainty as something to thrive in. If the only constant you expect is change, then that's your new comfort zone. Like, I'm comfortable learning, I'm comfortable stretching myself. So try and focus on the things that aren't going to change. For me, one of the things that isn't going to change is that human connection. So you really want to double down on communication with people, embracing your strengths and weaknesses there, what gives you energy. But for me, that's something that we as a society won't want to automate away, even if we can. Yeah, even just the self-awareness and the appreciation of the fact that learning is a process you can get better at. Because most people, the biggest problem is it's just a fixed mindset of, well, I'm not a good learner.
Yeah.
Or, that person was clever, I'm not too clever, blah, blah, blah. The meta skill of learning is never going to be useless. You're always going to want to be a better learner.
Taking that one step further, you mentioned a fixed mindset. Obviously, a growth mindset is so helpful, so useful. But there are a lot of people who are struggling with that transition to growth mindset. And that manifests in itself a self-story that we tell ourselves. I'm not a hockey player. I can't learn. I can't do this. For all those people, how do you get out of that ditch?
Yeah, well, it's because it sounds like bullshit. And especially for like British people, we're just slightly more cynical by nature, which is a good trait mostly in some areas, but when there is real gold in, it sounds so corny to say you have to believe it, you know what I mean? But you do. If you believe you can't do it, everything is telling your brain that you can't do it, so you're fighting a losing battle from the start. If you believe you can do it, you are automatically open to opportunities that would be there for people that can do it, right? You're not going to close them off. You're just going to see things and adopt things, and things are going to feel easier. And that has compound effects all the way through your life. So, you know what I mean? So I could say, I believe I could be the world's best sprinter. It's like, well, but I could rejig that and say, well, rather than compare myself to the world, I believe I can run the 100 meters 3 seconds faster than I currently can.
I want to pick your brains. If you had a magic wand and you could change anything about our educational system as a whole, all the way up to higher education, what would you do?
So, well, scrap exams.
Really?
Yeah. So I think exams are just like not fit for purpose, really. You want to learn about mechanics, go take apart an engine with a team and say, right, we want to make this engine 10% faster, and you'll learn everything along the way. AI is there to help you break it down. Like, I think all of that's better than having a GCSE C in maths. Like, it's
I completely agree. I did maths for GCSE, A level. I did further. I then did 4 years at university. I've never used circle theorem since year 11.
Okay, I've never met a business that has said anyone coming out of the school system is work ready. Never. So it's an irrelevant argument, isn't it? Because we're not meeting that standard even when we are focusing on skills.
Yeah.
So I think businesses would be much work ready for most businesses is capable, confident, and communicative. That's it. Like, companies are happy for you to learn on the job.
Yeah.
What's really hard for them to teach on the job is like, well, you just been a good team member from day one.
That's a really good philosophy. I've heard you're integrating AI with sport.
Well, I'm just playing around with AI really, but also, yeah, just applying it in different contexts. So one of them is football management, and just seeing if AI can be a football manager.
Can AI be a football manager?
I think it depends. It's a really boring answer, but it depends, because even if you've got the best possible AI, that is the world's perfect manager, you need people to buy in. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Unless you bring people along, right, and they're bought in. And this is, I talk to businesses and advise businesses a little bit now about like how to adopt AI, because everyone's scared of AI. And the thing is, unless you bring people along and really help them not see it as a threat, then it doesn't matter if you have the world's best system to do the world's hardest job. It will get sabotaged. We've seen it with the football stuff. Like, if people aren't bought in, it doesn't matter if it comes up with the world's best tactics. They're not going to even touch the sides of success. Yeah.
Crikey. Chris, I could genuinely keep talking to you and nerding out about AI for hours, but we have a closing tradition on this podcast, which is where the guest, regardless of who they are, answers this one question.
Let's have it.
And that question is, what is one message that you've never sent but you wish everyone would receive?
I don't know if I have sent this or not, but I would say the biggest thing for me that I wish I would have done all the way through my life, in hindsight, is write. Being able to articulate yourself and actually learning to write clearly is superpower in itself. But especially in the age of AI and LLMs, where writing is the input data to performance coming out, right? If you've got solid writing skills and you've got a database of your thoughts and how you think and how you operate, and then you can put that into AI and you automatically get 10 times the performance. I think everyone should just write, keep a journal, or something along those lines. And if you can tilt that towards, one thing in your journal every day, what are you grateful for? But if you write down something you're grateful for each day, just that positive boost on your mental focus and your sort of purview on life is tangible. Like, you will automatically perform better in basically every aspect of your life. So those things are what I'd tell people. Yeah, weirdly, like, write more and be more grateful. That's it.
Chris, thank you so much for your time.
No worries.